Hey friends, Amanda here at Bare Bones Living. Welcome back to my kitchen, and today I am showing you my contribution to the November Soup Spectacular hosted by Diane, the canning Nana, and I am going to be making a shepherd's pie soup. And it's really a simple soup. It's basically just a shepherd's pie in soup version. And what's a little different about this soup is that mashed potatoes is your soup base, which is kind of fun and different. And what I'm doing is today I'm going to be using my canned potatoes to make the mashed potatoes, because that's what you're going to do first. And then this is actually my last can of canned potatoes, but it's already late and I want to get this done fast. And then I might actually use some leftover mashed potatoes from Thanksgiving if this doesn't end up being enough. But it's really simple. It's mashed potatoes, ground beef, mixed vegetables, cheese, some seasonings, and that's about it. But let me show you what I got going on. So my thinking with using the canned potatoes is that this just makes it much faster, because when you can potatoes you're already cooking them. So I just poured my quart of canned potatoes in here, mashed it up, and I only had a little bit of mashed potatoes left over from Thanksgiving, so I just threw them in there just to fill it out basically. But you want to use basically 4 large russet potatoes, and this is about 4 russet potatoes. And what we're making is smashed potatoes, which are my favorite mashed potatoes, and that is just mashed potatoes with butter and sour cream and spices, whatever you prefer. However, I don't actually have sour cream on hand, so I'm going to substitute in a little bit of cream cheese that I have left over from Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to thin out that cream cheese with a little bit of milk to make the smashed part. So I have 4 ounces of cream cheese here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of milk too in there, just a little splash. And this is really just kind of how I cook. If I use what I have on hand, even if it's not actually what goes into this, but you would want to put probably a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of sour cream in here. And again, this is your soup base. You're just making really creamy, cheesy mashed potatoes for your soup base. And then of course I forget to add the butter, even though I said it. So I'll add that in here. We are going to be cooking our vegetables, so I'm melting 2 tablespoons of butter in our pan, and then I'll add in 1 onion chopped and cook that for about 10 minutes until translucent. And then I'll add 3 cloves of minced garlic for about a minute until it becomes fragrant. And if I had been thinking, I would have cooked my beef in this pan as well, because then I would get all of the beef flavoring in this, but I cooked the beef ahead of time, and so I don't have those little flavoring bits in here. But that would just add even more flavor. So if you think ahead of time, cook your beef in the same pot that you're going to cook your vegetables in, because this is then where you're going to be making your soup and your broth, basically. And you can get all that delicious flavoring and the brown bits from your beef in that. So my onions have softened. I only had to cook them for about 5 minutes. And now I'm going to add 3 cloves of minced garlic and just cook that for about a minute. And the way that I like to mince garlic is I just use my microplane and I grate my garlic over a microplane, and I feel like that does a better job of making small little garlic mince, and it's quicker for me. So I'm smelling that. That's good. And now I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of flour. I'm just cooking out the raw flour taste. And then we're going to add our 4 cups of chicken broth. I have some homemade chicken broth here, and I'm just going to splash a little bit of that in there. Deglaze that pan a little bit. Do a little bit at a time to deglaze the pan. Whoopsies. I'll just add the rest of that 4 cups in there as I make a gigantic mess. And now I can feel that all of the brown bits at the bottom are lifted off. So now we're going to season our broth. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. A 1/2 teaspoon of mustard powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground sage, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then we're going to bring this to a boil and reduce it to a simmer. So we have added in the mashed potatoes at this point. Sorry, I thought my camera was already recording and it was not. But we added in the mashed potatoes and we'll just mix them in. And then at this point, if you would like, you can use an immersion blender to make this really creamy, which I think I actually might do because my boys are very at that stage where they're very cognizant of what they are eating. And if they can dissect it, they will. But if it's all the same consistency, then they don't. This is nice and creamy now. Everything is blended, and I'm going to add the ground beef into this. As well as the frozen vegetables. And we're going to use about 2 cups of frozen vegetables. And we are about to overflow. Should have gone with a bigger pot, perhaps. And that is just mixed vegetables, just like you would have in a shepherd's pie. And I'm going to let this cook and warm up those frozen vegetables and re-warm up that ground beef, because I did that first. So I'll let that cook for about 5 minutes. I also forgot to add in half and half. So you're going to want about 2 cups of half and half. I'm really pushing my luck on this pot. At this point, I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to slowly add 2 cups of shredded cheese into this. You don't want your soup to be too hot when you're adding in your cheese so that it does melt. But this is basically done. We're going to add in the cheese, taste it, and season with salt and pepper as desired.
Fairlife brings home to your holiday traditions. It's ultra filtered milk with 50% more protein.
So here is our finished product. We have this gorgeous thick soup, nice and hearty, with a little bit of homemade bread, and it's delicious. Alright, so let's give this a try. It's so creamy. It's a super savory, creamy soup. Very comforting soup. And I really hope you guys give this a try. My kids absolutely love it, and they're super picky when it comes to eating. And they actually enjoy it and eat it. I really want to thank Diane, the Canning Nana, for inviting me to this collaboration. Make sure that you guys go and check out the playlist that I will link in the description box below, and leave a comment on all of the videos in the playlist for this November Soup Spectacular collaboration. And my word of the day, which I almost forgot to add, make sure in your comment that you add the word of the day, and my word of the day is going to be bear, B-E-A-R, like in our name. and Diane will be giving away a crock pot to one lucky winner. And you can increase your chances by going and watching all of the other videos, leaving a comment with their word of the day on all of their videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys give it a try, and I hope you love it. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.